Want to know the one skill that can transform your business and get you more customers? It's simpler than you think. From powerful hooks to creating curiosity, I'll show you the practical steps that you need to turn casual viewers into customers, asking when they can buy your next product.
Let's talk about how to make them interested every single time, because sometimes you get somebody and they're just not interested. So what are you going to do about that? People's interests will vary over time. They're not always interested in what you have to offer. They've got other things going on in their lives. The example here is if you wanted to sell me a bed right now, I'm not interested. I have a bed. It's good enough. And you can yell at me all you want and you can shout discounts at me and I'm not going to care because I don't need the bed. But when I go home today and my wife has left and she's taken all the furniture and I don't have a bed, you better believe I'm really interested in a bed at that point. So my situation has changed. You haven't changed, but my situation as the prospect has changed. And so people's interest will vary over time and you have to catch them at the right point. All right. So if you're losing sales too early, if it feels like you've reached out and they're just not interested, it's because you're not engaging them where they are. You have to engage the prospect where they are, not where you are. And usually if you were just thinking in a ram it through sales a way of thinking about it, you're thinking about it as what we call bottom of the funnel. You're thinking that everyone is ready to buy and you're shouting at everyone to buy now, and you're ignoring the fact that 90-something% of the people are not ready to buy now. So you are wasting a lot of energy and a lot of prospects and you're looking like trying to sell to people who aren't ready to buy. So why do you lose the sale early? You might be shouting to someone a message that's at the purchase stage, buy now, buy now, buy now, but the person is at the top. They're at their awareness stage. Yeah, they kind of know. It's like, I kind of know their bed's out there, all right? But then my wife is threatening to leave me, and I was like, oh shit, am I going to have to move out and I'm going to need to buy a bed? And I got some vague interest in it. But it's like, oh no, she's moved out, she's taken the furniture. All of a sudden, I drop all the way down here, okay? But you can make this for any analogy. You can map this to a marketing agency. We can map this to a SaaS sales process. We can map this to a multi-tier distribution channel, because if you're selling into distributors, likewise, they have certain needs for certain products that are being met or not met by the other providers in the space. It's still a sales process. And every single one of those, they've got different messages that need to be set based on a stage of awareness. So you have to think about tailoring that contact and that message to where they are. That's why you're losing too early, because you're shouting at them and they're not ready to hear that, okay? So how do we make the prospect fall in love? That is the question. So I like to think about it like dating, all right? Would you propose marriage the first time you meet someone in a coffee shop? Well, I'm sure someone somewhere has done that. However, that is very unlikely to work. And if you keep on doing it, maybe you'll find somebody, but you're probably not going to find a very high quality person, because it's the person who is willing to just, run forward and that first meeting and a coffee shop. Instead, think about it like romance, okay? As your prospect moves down in the funnel, you should have materials that meet them where they are, right? In that coffee shop, it's about some conversation and you're finding out what they're interested in. Oh, well, guess what? In the marketing context, you're finding out if they might be vaguely interested in what you have to sell. If you are selling backyard playgrounds to somebody who doesn't have children, it's not a conversation they're going to engage with, but they might engage with a piece of content that you put out that talks about 5 ways to keep your kids busy during the summer when the school is out. And that's like, oh, wow, I want to know about that. And there are these materials that you can put out there that are going to get them engaged in the thinking about something in the category of what you have to offer, so that you can lead them down the path towards the fact that your backyard play structures are exactly the thing that they need. All right. There's a distinction here, which I think is one of the most important things to remember, which is the difference between convincing someone to buy something and them feeling compelled to buy it. And the ones that are compelled to buy it because they feel that they've come to the conclusion themselves will be much better customers, will be much easier prospects to close on the sales call than the ones where you're there and you're trying to convince them that it is a good idea. So this is the distinction: convince versus compel, okay? So if they feel compelled to engage you because your sales process has gone from the backyard activities during the summer, and maybe that gave some options, and some of the options are DIY, and then there's the backyard playground set that you can just install for them, and they go down. It's like, well, here are some of the ways in which this is really cost effective. These are ways your kids will have their friends coming over, so they're safely playing in your backyard instead of running about town. And then you can lead about, oh, well, here's a little tool where you can construct your own one so that you can see what it's going to cost. So there's a cost calculator. And then if you want to talk to us, then you can get on there and they can actually have a conversation with a sales rep. But the sales rep is asking them questions. Do your kids like swing? They're asking them questions. And then the prospect becomes involved in the conversation. This is the process that you need to think for your particular offer, okay? So you're going to break down each stage in your sales process by customer awareness, okay? How aware are they of having a specific need? And then decide what materials make sense. I've given you the backyard play structure example, but this works for anything. This works if you have any kind of services business. When I was an attorney, it worked for law firm services as well. It always works. This is a fundamental. I'm not saying that you can't buy by just shouting buy into someone's face. There's a certain percentage, a small percentage of people who do that. But if that's the strategy that you use, it's going to be really time expensive. If you're paying for leads, it's going to be money expensive. And it is not going to be terribly effective, and you're going to get shittier customers because those customers are not going to be ones that are truly engaged and have come to the conclusion through your materials that this is a good decision. They'll be more likely to refund. They'll be more likely to be unhappy and to churn out. But a customer who's gone through this process is going to be one that is actually a good customer and will be easier to close.
This video is just one part of an in-depth series that will help you skyrocket your close rate. I know these methods work. I've used them to generate over $440 million in revenue. To get the full breakdown, you can watch the complete video right here.